on to the politics of those massive WikiLeaks documents released today. This afternoon, White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs looked to downplay the newsworthiness of the material.
I don't think that what is being reported hasn't in many ways been publicly discussed either by you all or by representatives of the U.S. government for quite some time.
Whether you buy that or not, the reports are raising new questions about the war effort. So what does it mean for the administration's efforts in Afghanistan and Pakistan? So, Matt, let me start with you. When do the Republicans finally make it full circle and flip on Afghanistan and pretend they were never for the war in the first place?
Well, look, that in a sense has happened. There was a huge schism I wrote about at Politics Daily a couple weeks ago where Ann Coulter joined people like George Will and Tony Blankley, who had long been opposed to Afghanistan. And look, who knows? There's a real argument. It could be that Republicans are being opportunistic and playing politics, but you could also argue that President Obama has changed the war. Initially, there was a very small footprint. The goal was to stop terrorism. Now we see nation building, and so maybe Republicans are going to jump off, for political purposes, but maybe there's a substantive reason there too. But I think it is starting to happen.
That's awesome. So, Sam, you see how they're going to say, hey, look,
I gotta say,
we purposely didn't care. We purposely didn't care, and we didn't do anything. So now that Obama's trying, it's obviously his fault.
I got to tell you that Matt should make sure that he double checks where those documents, what time period those documents cover. I mean, the fact
I'm sure some of them do come from Bush. I'm sure some of them do come.
More than, well, in fact, 90% of them did. In fact, what we found from those documents from 2004 to 2009 was that the Bush administration allowed the situation to continually degrade and deteriorate, and that's what we're left with. Now, does that mean that Obama is off the hook? No, this is his problem. He's got to deal with it. And so I think it'll be interesting to see if the Republicans do take that tact of saying, like, somehow Obama has created this mess, when in fact the documents, what they really show is simply that this thing has been a mess for years and has been slowly deteriorating. And I think the other thing that it shows, Cenk, is that we have a regional problem that's greater than Afghanistan. And so what the Republicans do will probably have some weird, bizarre political response to this that has little to do with the actual situation on the ground.
Look, I'm just worried about the fact
that
our government can't keep secrets.
I think Obama's got to go for.
I just think it's a big problem that our government can't keep anything secret.
Matt,
that's a huge problem. Look, I'm all for transparency.
That's also a classic Republican thing, is that
because it's true.
I think transparency is a good thing.
I think transparency is a good thing, but now when it comes to government secrets about war, then it becomes a real problem.
All right, I want to ask one last question for both of you. Matt, for you, I mean, when you look at these documents, it looks like the Bush administration screwed this war up for 7 or 8 years, didn't even really try. Can you grant us that boy, did they not handle it right?
Well, look, I think a lot of conservatives would agree with you on that. Look, here's the deal. If we learned anything last week with the Shirley Sherrod thing, it's unedited, or excuse me, selectively edited information is to be distrusted. So I know there were like 90,000 some documents. It's a lot of stuff out there. But whoever leaked this probably selectively leaked certain things. We don't really know the full story. But frankly, it looks. I mean, let's be honest. Pakistan working with Afghanistan does not look like a good thing for us going forward.
And finally, Sam, if the Republicans do flip and want to get out of Afghanistan, shouldn't you welcome that? Because you want to get out of Afghanistan.
Personally, absolutely. Yes, I would love the Republicans
I'll give you Ann Coulter's email.
To make this a campaign. Well, I like to give the Republicans more credit than to be led by Ann Coulter. I mean, I'm talking about someone who shows some level of seriousness. I mean, Ann Coulter's sort of a cartoon character. But, I mean, it would be nice if there was a greater push by the Republican Party to get us out of Afghanistan, even if it was completely cravenly based on politics. I think at the end of the day, I think that's going to be ultimately what ends up being our policy.